Hello everybody, this is a brief introductory video just to help you navigate the course that you are currently taking, Understanding World Religions. And I just want to give you a brief tutorial on how to navigate through the class, even though you might have taken other classes before. As you'll see as you come onto the site, and the first thing you should see is something similar to this, with the due dates of everything that is due during the semester is on the right hand side, and that's pretty typical of most courses that you'll take here at CSU. Important first step for you is to go to the Start Here tab and to complete the requirements there, as well as just take a look at my bio so you can understand a little bit more about me. But once you get into the class proper, as you are this week, you will see the opening tab, and under that 3 different folders, which is pretty typical for how the course runs throughout the 8 weeks. So it won't be too different from this each time. The first thing that you'll find is a briefing from me. We'll give you a little bit more background and understanding for the week, maybe a little bit of feedback from some of the things that have been done in the previous week, just to connect the dots, as it were, between what you've learned and what you will be learning. In addition, you'll find the other readings and videos that you are required to work through during this week. Some of them are very brief, some of them are a bit longer. So I encourage you to work through those, as well as, of course, additional readings that I've provided for you that give you more information with regards to the subject matter that we're discussing. This is in addition to, of course, the textbook reading, which follows the weeks as we progress. So the first 3 chapters for this week and chapters 4 to 6, and you'll see them unfold. As you can see there at the bottom of the screen, each time you'll see what chapters you are supposed to read in hexam. Then you come to the discussions. Now, as a rule, typically you're required, although not limited to, 5 discussion posts for the week at around about 100 to 150 words piece. Now, those discussion points, again, as you think about it in a typical classroom space, if you're having a conversation with somebody, you're not going to suddenly just cut it off because you've reached an arbitrary word limit or amount of posts. So I encourage you to look at those as minimum requirements, not as maximum requirements. Also, when it comes to discussions, if you think of the typical classroom space face-to-face, if you're engaging in a discussion, you're not going to do that before everybody else gets there, and you're not going to do it when everybody else has left. So I encourage you not to just do all of your discussion posts on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. or to do them all on a Sunday night at 11:57 p.m. The idea is that as the week unfolds, you will be discussing these questions together, and you'll be agreeing, disagreeing, and chewing through the material and helping one another understand it a little bit better, along with myself, who'll be participating there with you. Now, the first thing to do, especially for this week, is to post your introduction. I encourage you to do that, and also to interact with those that are in the class with you. It often makes a big difference as to find out who it is you're learning with and alongside, and there's very often a lot of synergy that's created through that. Then you will post a response to one of the prompts that I post, generally about 2 or 3 different prompts each week. You're required to post a response to at least one of those, again, not limited to, but at least one of those early on in the week on a Monday. So as you get into the week, as you start reading, what are some initial things that jump out to you? So read through the questions and then respond to the one that seems to resonate most with you. Then by Wednesday of the week, you're required to post your own question. This is where you would post that, where it says this is where you post your discussion question for the week. You would go into this forum and you'd post your own question. Now, this question has to do with the material that you're reading, the media that you're viewing, maybe some of the conversations that you've already started having inside or outside of class, but something that is a question that remains unanswered for you that you hope maybe by the end of the class you will have answered, or even by the end of the week. Make sure that your question is relevant to the topic at hand. For example, if we're discussing African traditional religions, this is not the place to post a question about how do you deal with your Muslim neighbor and evangelizing them and all those kinds of things. So keep that appropriate for the topic at hand. And then the remaining requirement is that throughout the rest of the week, at least 3 times, you would continue to engage with your peers in whichever forum you would like to. As you move and advance the conversation forward. Then you move to the final tab, which is assessments. And in this particular tab, this is where, generally speaking, you're going to upload your weekly discussion forums on a Sunday evening. This is where you would take your minimum of 5 posts, put them in a Word document, copy and paste into a Word document, and then upload it for me to view and to grade. You would participate in the weekly quiz, which is really just asking you whether or not you completed all the reading. So, rule of thumb, when you take the quiz, make sure you've done all the reading and all the media viewing, which typically, if you do that early on in the class, on a Monday and a Tuesday, you should be able to discuss things more detailed on a Wednesday and hopefully have all the reading done, certainly by the very latest on Sunday. Some of the other weeks have other assignments that are in there as well, so it's important that you look at the assessments tab each week to make sure that you know what is due by the end of that week. For example, at the end of next week, you have a redemptive reflection paper that is due, and the following week as well. There are quizzes. There's also a book report and a research paper as you progress through the week, so make sure that you check out those tabs each week as they unfold. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to help you and assist you in whatever way I can, but I think a lot of the way this is navigated is pretty self-explanatory. But let me know if I can assist you further. I look forward to engaging with you more in the class and the forums in the days to come. Thanks.